This is one of the most important gospels in the church. How many of you participated in Mercy Action Saturday yesterday? Stand up, please. There is Jesus Christ. Yesterday, we collected over 13,000 pounds of foodstuffs and clothing and things for those who have so little. The last were first, and the first were last. In Rome, the Holy Father has many titles. He's Vicar of Christ on earth. Pretty cool title. Bishop of Rome. Foundation of his power. Supreme Pontiff. I like that one. Otherwise known as Pontificus Maximus. Okay? I mean, this guy's a big shooter. And then there's the last title. Servant of the servants of God. Servant of the servants of God. Those who glorify themselves in society, in the church, everywhere, are destined to finish in rock-solid last place. Those who give themselves unconditionally, totally, completely, they are guaranteed first place. We live in a society today where if you spend 5 minutes on Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat, what is it about? Is it about service? No. Is it about others? No, unless we're chastising them. It's about me. Me, 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 and more me. And our society is very much like that today. What can I do for me? How do I get ahead? How do I win? What is success? The Son of Man came to serve, not to be served. I remember when I was a little boy, there was a time when I was actually 5 years old, and I was a student, I was a Montessori student at what was then called the Academy of the Sacred Heart on Lakeshore Avenue in Grosse Pointe. It's now called the Grosse Pointe Academy. It's a secular private school now. But back then, the Mesdames of the Sacred Heart ran it. And my wonderful teacher was Mrs. Carrick, and don't you know she was from Dublin? And really from Dublin. I mean, you didn't forget it. And it was a great Montessori school. It was fantastic. You learned everything. I knew all the countries of the world, all the continents, and how to serve high tea by the time I graduated. We wore suspenders, little shorts, bow ties, and little caps. And that was the uniform. And the girls had little uniforms. It was fantastic. And you learned a lot about life. You even learned un petit français, a little bit of French. And one of the things you had to do before the big Christmas party every year is the Mesdames had a tradition where every little boy and girl in the Montessori school had to bring forward their favorite toy and surrender it under the tree to children who had nothing. Now, conceptually, this was a great idea. Except when we started talking turkey, because they wanted to take my Johnny West. Now, most of you won't remember Johnny West, but Johnny West was big in the 60s. And Johnny West was an action figure, a cowboy. He had his 6-gun, he had his rifle, he had his, his leggings for when he rode on his horse. And I had the horse. I had everybody. I mean, I had 30 of these things. I was a spoiled brat. I had the greatest parents in the world. And I had to give up Johnny West, my favorite toy. So there's this little boy in shorts and suspenders and a bow tie and a little cap, holding his Johnny West, making his way to the Christmas tree. I turned around 4 times, looking for some governor somewhere to grant me a reprieve. It was my earliest practice of law. There was no reprieve coming. And under the tree went old Johnny. I had tears coming down my eyes. Got back to the table, had dessert, which mitigated the problem a little bit. And then we went home. And that Christmas, the old man with the beard and the red suit left me a new Johnny West. But the lesson was learned. And it's a lesson that never escaped me ever again. All of us are here for others. And there is nothing we own that should be not given to the least of our brothers and sisters. Yesterday, in the midst of this organized carnage that was going on over in Welch Hall, if you first saw it, it was sort of like, what have I inherited? And then I took a closer look. The knights were serving pancakes. St. Vincent de Paul was organizing everything. The De La Salle Junior Varsity football team was here. And then comes up this 30-foot truck. And surrounding the truck are bikers. Now, these guys were ominous looking. They had like 12 rings on, most of them with skulls and knives going through the eyes and all this kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there going, whoa, baby, what's going on here? And they came up to me and wanted their picture taken with the guy in the Roman collar, because they had just brought in about 250 boxes of food. And they patiently took it off this huge truck to give to the least of their brothers and sisters. I came here to serve, not to be served. All of us in our life have to take score. We got to reevaluate. Now, that does not mean, as I said last week in this same line of Gospels, that I expect you to go out and sell everything. But there's a reason Mother Church puts these Gospels together 2 weeks in a row. It's a reminder to us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, life is not about us. It's about others. And the real goodness of life, the real making it, the real success story is not found at Tiffany's or Kate Spade or any of the brand names. It's not found in the convertible Corvette. It's not found with how many bills of lading or how many accounts you have in the bank. It's not found in how many secret things you have in the secret deposit bank over at wherever you bank. It's not about squirreling away everything. Look what I have. It's about what's happened to others. And oftentimes, it's about others we're not comfortable with. People whose color is different than ours. People who might smell because they have no place to bathe. We're very comfortable in our beautiful church. But we always have to ask ourselves, What are we doing for the least of our brothers and sisters? For those who participated yesterday, the Holy Spirit gave them the opportunity to take advantage of a moment, as he gives all of us these opportunities almost every day. And there's a choice A and a choice B. And Carol Merrill, standing behind curtain number 1, that's the choose me. For those of you who remember Let's Make a Deal. And in box number 2 is let's choose others. That's life. Every day you have those choices. Choose others. This is World Mission Sunday. Choose others. Be generous, be kind. Not to me, the diocesan priest who does fine and drives his little car around and you got to fix my house, but that's going to come in time, and Father Chris and I will have a decent place to live. But it's not about us now. I'm talking about people around the world who have nothing. People in Mount Clemens who have nothing. And we have plenty, don't we? And we need to help not only our own, but others. And we need to be happy about it, and motivated about it, and excited about it. Because let me tell you something. When you head towards the pearly gates, and there's the man for whom this church is named, the first pope, whose cross keys are in front of our sanctuary, the best thing to have on your passport is the stamp of lived for others, not for him or herself. I was hungry, did you feed me? I was naked, did you clothe me? I was a foreigner from a different land, did you welcome me? I was in prison, did you visit me? That which you did to the least of my brothers and sisters, you did for me. It's the only time he tells us who makes it and who doesn't. Being Catholic is tough. But you know what I saw on the faces of those who were down in our basement yesterday? A couple hundred people. Didn't look tough. They had smiles on their faces. They were laughing. They were urging each other on. And they were having a fabulous time. They were having fun being Catholic. Being Catholic is pretty cool. We have to remind our folks about that. We have to remind our parents about that, who send their students over to St. Mary's School at a pretty decent tuition and then take them to Kensington Church on Sundays for services instead of to Catholic Mass. They would be filling all the holes in these pews. They surrender the sacraments for themselves and their children and replace them with big screen TVs and being able to take your Starbucks into church. The holiest people who followed Jesus sometimes went off the path. The sons of thunder, James and John. If you look behind, in the back of church on the wall, the beautiful, beautiful stained glass, on the right side as I'm facing it are the sons of thunder, James and John, looking at Jesus, handing Peter the keys to the kingdom. These sons of thunder, James and John, in the gospel, were looking out after number 1. So we know even saints, even apostles, looked after number 1 sometimes and had to be reminded by Christ to look after others. I came to serve, not to be served. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.